All right, I wasn't going to do it this week because I'm very sad. But then I decided that that would actually be disrespectful to matches if the show did not go on. So this will be a very sober and somber Gribbly's Folly Sunday antisocial. That time each week when I smoke my pipe and complain about humanity while answering all of its questions. And if you're a piece of humanity with a question for me, leave it in the comments down below. Hashtag it. Ask Gribbs. I'll answer any question. This is going to be an especially antisocial. This is going to be the time each week when I lash out at people in my grief, even though they might not deserve it. Speaking of which one of you jackwagons bought up all the Savinelli 673s? Seriously. Okay, what should we do here? I know that Typing Piper and several others. Hang on, let me open my document here. Like, here's a fish. I know you guys love it when I don't finish my thoughts like that, but I want to go ahead and get a pipe lit because this is, after all, a pipe channel. And today I'm going to be cracking open a tin of Aaron Moore Flake. I know that I said I was going to open a tobacco that Les Brady sent, and I will eventually. I'm sorry, Les. What happened was that I opened up the tobacco reviews page just to peek. I don't like to read too many reviews before I smoke a tobacco because I don't want my palate to be influenced by the meanderings of others. So anyway, but I did take a peek, and basically those blends were very much like Foundry, which I just finished smoking for like 6 months because I'm a self-employed artist dad now, and I never get to smoke my pipe except when I'm making videos for you guys. So I didn't want to just continue on that path. So I decided I would find something in my cellar that I would probably never, like, it would never be a go-to tobacco. I would never just reach in there and think, oh yeah, I'm just having a hard time right now. I want to try something easy. So this looks a little bit different. The leaf tobaccos for Aaron Moore are selected from only premium tobacco growing regions of the world. The blend consists of mature Virginia, mellow burley, and sweet dark air-cured tobaccos. It is pressed into cakes, aged, and cut into slices, providing a mellow and cool smike with a flowery and fruity note. It actually does say smike, right? Mellow, and you guys can't see that. Mellow and cool smike. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit of a first impressions video. I'm going to go ahead and get this pried open here with my Boker titanium compact, subcompact knife, blade, tactical, whatever. Pry this open if I can without sending myself to the ER. The seal is broken, and One review said it was like watered down juicy fruit. Now, I know that there's an impeachment on, and that our mayor is under fire for his love of aromatics, and that this tobacco could technically be called an aromatic because there is added flavoring. However, I do want to point out that I am not running for office and I can do whatever I want. So let's see what this. Ooh, well cut, Aaron Moore. Who makes this? Trademark Aaron Moore Flake. I think this is made by STG, isn't it? Hang on. Yeah, made in Denmark by STG. So very, very nice flake construction there. Man, precision cut. Look at that. And I wouldn't say that the aroma is fruity. I think that it's let me think of how best to describe this. Okay, it might be fruity, and the fruit might be plums. Rotten plums. It's a little bit moist, but I think it'll smoke just fine. I'm not even gonna rub it out too much because I am ready to light this pipe up. It's cold down here. I'm sad. I need the comfort of my well-loved Stanwell Colonial 126 with plateau rim. And anyway, I know that Typing Piper and several others have started letter writing campaigns to Savinelli, asking them to make a special edition Matches pipe. And so I was gonna run out. I was gonna sit at my desk in my underwear, like the work from home hermit creep that I am. I was gonna buy one of John's pipes, the Savinelli Roma, with the lucite stem, shape 673, and then they were all sold out. And I thought, well, maybe I should just wait and see if there's going to be a special edition or something like that. But you know, I'm not so big on special edition pipes. I would buy one, but John didn't need a special edition. He liked that one specific pipe, and he liked everything about it. And I've always wanted one of those pipes, of course. So I don't know. I might get that, or I might get they had the 624s in stock, and they looked really cool as well. So is it still a Friday Savinelli if it's not the exact shape? I don't know. Let's light this up. Interesting. Okay. Wow. No hint of the plum in the initial lighting taste. The initial lighting, the first light, the first whatever. Let me smoke it a little bit more. So I spent last night at my desk watching. Well, I was playing Minecraft. I had enough. So I was playing Minecraft, and I was playing my guitar, and I was in the background listening to all of John's stories in his Storytime playlist, and I was thinking, like, I was trying to identify the characteristics that made this man such a great storyteller. Like, why? Like, we all know he was, but why? Like, what was it about his stories? Because his stories, when you get right down to it, none of them were like, he wasn't Indiana Jones. He didn't have like grand adventures that he was telling. He was just talking about stuff from his day and things that had happened in his life that are similar to the things that happen in all of our lives, ordinary things, which is why his stories were so relatable. But I could tell the same story, and I've tried, by the way. I could tell the same story, and it would not be an interesting video, because of the way it was all in his like incredibly dry presentation. So I have tried in the past to make a video in the style of Matches 860, and to some degree Northwest Pipe Smoker as well. I think I may have mentioned him specifically in the past, talking about like the pipe videos I would like to make. But here's a little more blatantly philosophical. The philosophy in John's videos was always subtext, and anyway, it was the very dry delivery, and there was no flowery language. It was all just very simply told, and it was told at this very deliberate pace that kept you in suspense, even when he was talking about like turning the lights on at work, like literally. I was I was listening to the story about when the lightning struck his workplace, and he was talking about going into the big dark building and trying to turn on the lights, and like, you already know what happened. The lightning struck. The lights aren't gonna. But it's just, here's just some dude talking about this. I don't know. It's amazing. So I think maybe this week I will try to think of one of my stories and tell it in the Matches 860 style, and make a video. And I'm sure that'll flop, but it'll be an interesting experiment that I hope will give me an even greater appreciation of John's style. And I would encourage everybody to think of a story that you could tell in that style and make a Matches 860 inspired video. I think that'd be pretty cool. This tobacco, I'm not sure what's up with it, but I don't get the fruity taste at all in the actual smoke. I don't get much taste so far, but my palate is such that I often have trouble pinning down the tastes on a first smoke. It usually takes me a few smokes to get that going. So we'll just live with this tin for a little while. And I can't remember who gave this to me. I know I didn't buy it myself. Thank you, whoever it was. And we'll return to this. We'll return to it. All right, I'm beginning to detect a little bit of sweetness. Very subtle. Definitely has that dark-fired thing going on. Okay, big announcement. Big announcement. The impeachment is postponed. Not canceled. Not canceled, Mr. Mayor. I don't think you get off that easy. You can't hide behind this community tragedy for much longer. But we're going to give this a few weeks just to let things settle down. And then we will be resuming our complete character assassination of Derek Tant. I'm going to hire a private investigator. So you better pile those pallets up a little taller in your yard, Derek, because there's going to be people watching you. So all that is to say that your impeachment questions and hearsay and rumors and opinion, which will definitely be taken into the record as fact, those are not going to be addressed in this Sunday Antisocial, but I will get to your non-impeachment questions. Pete Piper asked Gribbs, is Typing Piper actually Joshua in the Woods undercover? I could see it. I really could see it. I think that there's a certain stillness in the countenance of both men that could be, yeah. And I mean, have we ever seen them in the same room together? Typing Piper asked Gribbs, is it fair to say that Matches 860 was the Kobe of the YTPC? I didn't care about Kobe when he died, but Matches, man, this hurts. It does hurt. And no, that's not fair. That's not fair to Matches. I think Kobe was a complex figure in a way that Matches was not. Without saying that Kobe may have been a really complex figure, and maybe we don't talk about that because he's dead now and everybody lionized him. But Matches, Matches was a man of the people, number one, and Kobe was flying around in a helicopter to skip traffic. So I'm sorry, I don't mean I would not recognize Kobe Bryant if he introduced himself to me. I have no idea. I mean, I know who he was, but I'm not a sports fan. And I am definitely a fan of old guys sitting around smoking and talking. Definitely. So Matches was the bigger influence to me. Neural Glitch says, while I agree with your claim that Metallica died with Cliff, I believe Justice was their best album. Then the alcohol finally caught up with them on the Black Album. I disagree, sir. I disagree. I think Master is their best album. But it's interesting to me that Cliff still had writing credits on Justice. It's also interesting to me that Flemming Rasmussen, that was the last album, Metallica album that he produced. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. Rasmussen, whatever, Scandinavian black metal magic name he had. I think he's still alive. And Rasmussen had to have approved the mix, the mastering of that album without any bass on it. So I think that it's not fair to say that And Justice was not influenced by Cliff, or at the very least by Cliff's death, because they were all still obviously reeling from it when they made Justice. And poor Jason Newsted got all of his bass sounds ripped from the album. Of course, then enter Bob Rock, and Newsted certainly got his. I think Newsted was the strongest part of Metallica in the Black Album years. He was a monster on bass, and I think that the radio-friendly character of that record is, if it is due to alcohol, it's James's alcoholism making him soft, basically. Like, he just wanted to go make $1 bajillion so he could buy more booze. Okay, moving on. Though, before we move on, being in the melancholy humor that I am, I was reading about Cliff and his contribution to justice, and man, the to live is to die, and those lines, cannot the kingdom of salvation take me home? Just brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. Blake, MDCCCXXVII. I know you've told me several times what number that is, but I never can remember. I'm sorry. Anyway, he asked Gribbs, are conspiracy theories just modern equivalent of folklore and myths? Yes. Yes. Or conspiracy theories are our modern understanding of the same phenomenon that caused all the folklore and myths. I think there's something to be said for the idea that, well, look at it like this. Here's a timely way to put it. The official story is almost never true. And it's very frustrating to us when we know the official story isn't true, and we are impacted greatly by the fact that we cannot, we're not allowed by our social norms to confront something at face value, or excuse me, to confront something at whatever the proper term would be, of like, we know this thing is one way, but we have to pretend it's another, and it's upsetting. And I think that's where conspiracy theories come from, even if they are in themselves baseless. They come from the human frustration with dishonesty in all its forms, and even in its most benign white lie forms. We often understand intrinsically, instinctively, that certain events did not happen for the reasons that they were that are used to explain them away, and so it's left to us to wrestle with that. And the more vocal among us put forth very loud ideas about how things should be, and perhaps they use the discrepancy between the way things are and the way things should be to serve their own needs. And I think when you reach a certain point, you let those discrepancies lie. You leave them alone, because whether it's true or not, you know that it doesn't really matter. So, yes, conspiracy theories are modern folklore. Cobbett of the Shire asked Gribbs, why do you think James Bond would be in the CIA? Surely being English, he is too well-dressed and sophisticated. I'm sorry, I misspoke. We were landing under sniper fire, and I got stressed out and said the wrong thing. So, of course, James Bond was in MI6, 5, 6, whatever the latest number of the MI. What does MI mean anyway? Majesty's information? It's got to mean something about Her Majesty, right? I don't know. Yeah, of course, Felix Leiter was in the CIA. Duh. Unfortunately, I can no longer procrastinate dealing with the battle rattle question here. We've gotten down to that. But first, I want to say this. I've really been playing guitar a lot lately. And I was wondering, like, we've got musicians in the YTPC, right? I had this thought. What if we made a YTPC band, and we just like emailed MP3s back and forth until we surely there's got to be somebody here that knows how to mix music. And we could probably come up with knowledge about how to, we'd have to agree on a backing track, and we'd have to write some basic stuff, but we could do it. Bands work remotely these days, don't they? We could make a YTPC band. Who's in? Who's in? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, David. Did I mention this is my second Hydro Flask of coffee this morning? I'm just devastated, y'all. I know comfort in, grief out in the circles. I know you're all in the same circle that I am. So I'm not trying to hand my grief to you. But it's so sad. All right, David 35445 asks Ribs, have you tried the Noom plan? I've heard about the Noom plan. I have not tried it. My wife lost like 35 pounds on it. All about changing habits. She's been able to keep the weight off. Of course, she's also a board certified behavior analyst. That sounds like it would be helpful in a weight loss plan. No, I haven't tried it. And honestly, at this point in my weight loss journey, I'll just go ahead and give you the update. I haven't weighed because I'm recording this on Saturday, and Sunday is my weigh-in day. I did lose a little more weight the last time I weighed in, but that was after I gained some weight. But I am net down a little more, and haven't gotten any exercise. I still don't really okay, so the news this week is that I went to see my therapist for a first appointment in helping me understand why I am the way I am. And she said some interesting things. She asked some interesting questions in terms of like, what are your first recollections of food? At what point did you realize that that you were not being healthy, in your life? What kind of food did you start preparing for yourself when that role was yours to take on, that sort of thing? And I remembered a moment when I first moved in with my wife. She was my girlfriend at the time, and we moved into our house. And I remember standing there so I was like 21, 22, and I had lived at home, and then I had gone to school, like the colleges where there were cafeterias. And so I remember standing there in the fridge being like, there's no food in this fridge. And like really, honestly, for the first time realizing if I didn't go buy food, there wasn't going to be any food. And I really remember like, wow, that sucks. Like I'm going to have to spend so much time buying my own food when up to this point in my life, it's just been there. I could just eat whatever was there, and you can't do that as an adult. That was quite a realization, and so she brought that out of me. She was like, talk about a memory you have learning to feed yourself, and I still have. I mean, I have a really hard time just making myself go to the store and buy food, and the only way I can kind of get through it is to either like really obsess about it and be like, okay, I'm gonna buy, make a list. I'm going to buy this, and this, and the other thing, and it's the macros are going to work out. I'm going to have protein, I'm going to have carbs, I'm going to have whatever. But I never actually do that. So what I end up doing is just walking through the store and grabbing the exact same thing every time. And I'm fine with that. I got no problem with it. But apparently she says that makes me entirely disconnected from food and body, is the way that she put it. Apparently you're supposed to enjoy eating and allow yourself to feel full and just stuff like that. Like, who enjoys eating? Jeez. So when it comes to this plan or that plan, diet plan, what I have realized about myself is any plan would work if I would just do it. That's I can't say that I've tried any plan really, because it always lasts a week and then I don't do it anymore. So there's things going on that need to be addressed, I think, at a deeper level before I can really make progress, the kind of progress I want to make. Obviously I'm making a little bit of progress if I'm losing some weight. So I guess I feel better. I'm not getting any exercise right now because the weather's bad and I'm in a bad mood, and yeah, it's same old shit every week, same shit. You're going to hear this a lot because people are going to keep asking me for the Battle Rattle updates that I said I would give. But I didn't mean it. I didn't want to actually update you guys, but now you're pulling it out of me. So I'm enjoying this. It doesn't immediately serve the need for a pipe. Like, you know what I mean? Like the way Foundry did, or the way something like Old Limey Bastard will. it doesn't. I'm still trying. I'm testing the tobacco and not smoking a pipe. You know what I mean? But there's something to it. There's kind of a smoky, barny taste. Not like Barney Fife, but like a barn with tobacco in it. Nor like Barney the dinosaur. All right. Thank you for watching. Hang in there. Be good to each other. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind. Was that a good sign off? I don't know. How do you, Seed Matches, he was always just like, thanks an awful lot for watching. And that was it. He didn't obsess over his sign offs. He just did. Okay, bye.